it came from Mars. Nothing looked like that.
You're wearing your car when you drive a Corvette?
Well engineered.
It was iconic.
It's always been a two-seater. It's a car that is attainable.
Cool and fast.
It's America's version of a front-engine, rear-wheel drive, high-performance sports car.
A Corvette is actually an escort ship. It's a boat. You wouldn't normally name a car after a boat, but we did.
Well, you know, the 53, I think, was a little primitive in the beginning and almost didn't continue, you know, if you go into the history. But then it took off, and the people liked that, you know, and then they added power. You know, and this country has a thing about power. They like a lot of power.
Bill Mitchell was the head of the styling organization at General Motors at the time, and he loved the way animals looked as they were swimming through the water. His goal was to make the car look as if it was moving when it was parked. And those first 63 Stingrays did that.
That was breakthrough. When the 63 split window came out, it was iconic.
It is an automobile where you could park them anywhere on Earth and the general public would be able to identify it.
So the car went from this Stingray body flow with these widespread features on the fenders to more of an upright front fenders. And again, it was following the fish. They carried the name Stingray, but they're now referred to as the shark cars. We sold more of those than anything else. That car ran from 1968 all the way through 1982.
Performance kept climbing. So we started with a little 6-cylinder engine that wasn't even as fast as a big Cadillac. And then it went to the 283, and then the 327, then the big block Corvette, and then the L88s. And it kept growing and growing, which adds to the mystique of cool and fast.
I had my first Corvette was a 1968 convertible. I had no idea what to do with this car. All I knew was it was broke, and I really liked it.
It's a 1967 L88, over 550 horsepower, built strictly for racing.
I just had a passion for Corvettes, the two-seater sports car. I just fell in love with it, and I love the styling.
And I've got a 54, not a 53, and a 62. And I like that car because I think of Route 66, my entry into the Corvette hobby.
Corvette's been in more TV shows and more movies than any other American sports car, and it always will be.
I've always had a Corvette. I've never in my life not owned a Corvette.
One of the pleasures of owning a Corvette is like your general admission ticket to go to a car show. You meet people just like yourself that has the same interest in cars, specifically Corvettes.
You meet people that have owned one Corvette, and then everybody else that's owned lots of Corvettes. As you own that car, you're looking for your next one.
There are people who buy them for an investment. There's people who buy them for the sheer enjoyment of attending events and hanging around other Corvette people.
People will say things grow on you that sort of grows in you. You know, you start out with a Corvette and then you get a better one or you get a second one, and it really becomes a part of people's lifestyle.
People that are Corvette enthusiasts have really educate themselves. You got the Corvette Black Book, you can join NCRS, you come to Bloomington. When they see a ZL1 or a ZR2 or an L88 car, they know basically what it is.
Corvette, you can take them out and drive them every day, and you can ride them hard and put them away wet, so to speak, and they'll get up and go to the next day.
They bought a Corvette because they wanted a sports car, and what they found out, it becomes their travel car. It's more comfortable, it gets better fuel economy, it's got plenty of luggage space, and it's a heck of a lot more fun to drive than their minivan.
That's how the clubs form. You know, there's probably thousands of clubs. You know, we've got several hundred cars in the club parking over here today. You know, there's clubs all over the country.
I think it's interesting. We've got quite a life cycle with Corvettes. Typically older people buying the cars new, which there's nothing wrong with that. They got the money, they write the checks. Then they trade them off. You get the younger people that buy them used. And then you get the next generation that buy them after that. And eventually they get to a point where they have to restore them.
Restoration is extremely expensive. It takes a tremendous amount of man hours to do a complete restoration. The rarity is very, very important because you don't want to take a 1975 base motor Corvette that's maybe valued about maybe $8,000 to $10,000 and then put $100,000 plus in a restoration. Doesn't make any sense to me.
To think that a Corvette would be worth several $1 million is mind-boggling when people my age who remember when these cars were new, $5,000 was a lot of money to buy a car.
I look at cars as like a piece of real estate or a piece of stock, where if you're going to invest that kind of money in a car, let's make sure you break even or even make money down the pike. So most of the cars that we do in our facility are super rare, desirable cars where they will bring back your investment.
I have a 57, but it's a barn find. We've left it as is, sitting on a trailer the way we drug it out of a barn after 37 years.
The Corvette remains almost unique. It is a world-class sports car in performance, style, features, handling, and yet it's not $100,000. It's a car that is attainable by so many people.
They're not going to be brand new, and they're not going to be collector Corvettes, but it's got the Corvette logo on it, and it's still got that brand character to it.
I've never found myself not liking a new generation or dissing a prior generation. You know, each one is the best that Chevrolet could do at the time.
And now the C7 car, I think, has been a huge hit with the public interest in it. Cars are being ordered very quickly. You know, that's going over very well. It's a very appealing look. It's a whole different look, resembles some other cars that are out there that the younger crowd likes.
We're going to bring out the coupe, we're going to bring out the convertible here at Christmas, and then I'm sure that we're going to keep adding more options, more performance, because that's what we do at Corvette. We've always done it that way.
It started that way in '53, and it's that way in 2014.
We're never going to live forever. The cars are going to outlive us.
The hobby will continue. There will always be new people interested in the car.
We all work together to make the hobby better and better.
And as much as they change the car, it also adds patina and beauty and desirability for the older cars. So, dollar for dollar, the best sports car you're going to buy any place in the world, period.